Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This week we're going to be doing a Kerbal Space Program mission. And in this mission we are going to be taking an SSTO to the Mun. This is my third SSTO, I think. So third SSTO. I've only done one to Minmus and one to Kerbin orbit. So I know lots of people would probably say that you could almost get it out the pole or something. But as I'm not very good with using SSTOs yet, so I'm still figuring out ways to get the most efficient. Still learning how to do things, so yeah, you can see my very overpowered mission going to the Mun, and we are very, very fast in this thing. We were flying along. I know Matt Lown with some of his missions that he does with his Argus class, I'm pretty sure it's called. Big heavy SSTOs. They don't go nearly this fast. He actually has to make them nose down to catch up enough to get above 400 meters per second to actually get them to the where the rapiers will start burning really hard. Then you'll be able to make things a bit easier. This is one of my first SSTO missions. Like I said, we're just gonna I won't be able to describe exactly everything how I do this, but this is actually the third mission I've done of it. First two times I had some problems with the SSTO, so I had to go back to the drawing board, but oh well, that's the Kerbal way, I guess. Anyway, I haven't actually made a KSP mission for a while now, but also you may have noticed before in the soundtrack, I'm using Kerbal Space Program 2 music. It's just because I absolutely love it. It's so much better than the KSP1 music, in my opinion. So I'm using the using the KSP2 music. Anyway, as you can see, we've got some good visuals. Also, you may notice, compared to my oldest KSP video, which I guess is the only one up to this point, now I've got a shiny rocket. And I've installed Magpie mods for my Kerbal Space Program install. So I've got more reflective surfaces, and I also got rid of restock. Not because Magpie mods, which is what adds the reflectiveness, can't work with it. Just because, in general, I really like, this is a big thing for me, because you use the nuclear engine a lot in Kerbal Space Program to get to other planets. I really, really don't like the plume that comes with the waterfall expansion for restock. I really hate it, so that's the main reason why I don't use restock anymore on Kerbal Space Program. And since I absolutely love waterfall engine effects, yes, it's a big deal for me. So anyway, where, as you can see now, we're just bringing our apoapsis above the atmosphere, above the atmosphere, using the last little bit using a bit of oxidizer in the tanks to get it up out of the atmosphere. And now we're using the nuclear engines to help us circularize. I know I wasn't doing this a very efficient way. I'm doing everything. I mean, well, maybe I was. I'm not sure, because I'm not really an expert of SSTOs. So anyway, yeah, not much more else to talk about. Oh yeah, and I'll probably start making some more Kerbal Space Program 2 videos soon, because as you know, patch 3, hopefully you know, patch 3 for Kerbal Space Program 2 is going to be releasing really soon. I'm really excited for it, because it is going to be adding a few new parts and fixing up more bugs, and it's been taking them like a month to get it all before they're going to release it. So I mean, it probably, if you're watching this later on, you probably actually it has been released. But anyway, so I'll probably start doing some more Kerbal Space Program 2 missions. Anyway, as you can see here, we have little clips from the Mun going in front of the Kerbal. But as you can see, it doesn't really show it. It just must be some scatterer, and because I use Scatterer and all of Spectra's add-ons except Spectra-64K clouds. I mean, I probably could use it, but I haven't been. But yeah, so must be something to do with that when you can't see it. Anyway, now we're going for the intercept to the Mun, and this is actually the first SSTO I've done to the Mun. Like I said earlier, I've only done one to blow KO and Minmus, but the Minmus one wasn't exactly my own idea, but I got a tutorial from Matt Lane on how to do that, so yeah, so hopefully we're gonna go. And also, you may notice the background, at least in the map view, it's a bit hard to see it in the I'm not sure what you'd call it, but yeah, I'm not sure what you call it, but anyway, you have this beautiful like aurora kind of thing. It's like if you look up at the night sky, if you've ever done that, you've got like the Milky Way galaxy, and you've also got like nebula and things that make up this beautiful thing which you can see at the night sky if you stay out there long enough to see it and you're not surrounded by city lights. It's actually quite cool to look at, but the one in stock KSP, I just don't like. It just looks, I mean, it's definitely okay, but it's like, I really like this one so much better. It just looks so much cooler, and more stars and nebula and everything. It just looks really awesome. Speaking about nebula, I actually, just the other day, I bought a telescope, which I'm actually starting to get into, which I think is pretty awesome. So I'm going to start doing, maybe, I don't think I will, but I may do a video or two using the telescope. I've already looked at the moon and some other things. Anyway, quick plug-in. If you are enjoying this video, subscribe, like, and hitting that notification bell would go a long way. I really wish people would realize how much just one subscribe and like can help with any video, at least for small channels and even big channels. If you don't do it, someone else might have the excuse not to do it, or think the same thing, and you don't get any. But I won't be surviving on this channel. I won't be surviving on YouTube unless you do it. So if you want me to stay alive, which I guess you probably don't, I mean, on YouTube at least, well, you better like. Also, there's a little glitch there. I think it might be from Physics Range Extended, because I've also got another mod installed, BDA, I think it is, where you can shoot missiles and things, and but anyway, I've got it, and that Physics Range Extended comes with it. So I think a flag from one of my previous missions might have floated off the surface of the Mun. The Kerbals didn't stick it into the ground enough. Anyway, so now we're decelerating around the Mun, and I'm not sure, can I? Yeah, I think I can hear the engine effects, the sound from the engines. A bit hard to hear it over the music, but I'll fix it up soon. I don't fix up the audio until I finish the my commentary recording part. So yeah, so we're gonna past missions I've done with this. The first mission I did, it took me absolutely ages to get the suicide burn right. It took me about 20 quick loads to get the thing right, the suicide burn. And then when I finally managed to land, I realized that when I was trying to take off, I realized that I didn't have any RCS on the bottom. So I actually couldn't lift the nose up off the ground. So I went back to the drawing board and I fixed up some of those things. And I did a previous mission, but then I did another mission, but I had some problems with that mission. It just went a bit slow and I had too many quick loads. So to make it easier on myself, for editing wise at least, I did this mission with luckily only 2 quick loads. So that should be it's a lot better, if you know what I mean, I guess, kind of. Also, I do have Parallax installed, but because of some of the previous missions I did, I I turned off the collisions, because one of the past missions, the first mission actually, every time I try and take off, the rocket would hit the rocks and it'd bounce it everywhere and break all the pieces off. So yeah, I decided to try and turn it off for the previous mission. I still haven't turned it back on again. I probably should, but if I go for I think it's Ike, pretty sure it's Ike. If I go for an Ike mission around Yuna, I'm definitely gonna turn it on. And I guess I probably shouldn't spoil it if you don't have Parallax installed. But if you do, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's one of my favorite places to go with Parallax. So also you see that I'm setting that to radial in just to try and keep the nose on the ground because it was a bit back heavy. Anyway, now we are going to get the Kerbals out onto the lunar surface. Once I just zoom out and try and orientate myself. Actually, the quick load I draw up ahead is because such an idiot. I didn't seem to actually. I still think I'm an absolute idiot about this because it's so easy to figure it out on the navball, but I didn't. I accidentally pointed the rocket to go south. So anyway, I did a quick load. I also sped up a bit of the footage where I did actually make it go the wrong way. You know, as you can see, that should be the thumbnail for the video. I usually like making those little thumbnail videos and then put it into Photoshop and get a little bit of cool looking on it. Anyway, so now we're putting the Kerbal back inside, and since we've got FreeIVA installed and DE-IVAExtensions and IVA-prop extension, I think it is, installed, all from CCAN, we're going to have a little bit of fun in the cockpit. You can skip past this if you want. It's not all that interesting, but I guess it could call it a little bit of a showcase of it. Press Alt-G, and it'll make it so it takes off gravity. So if you leave that on, it'll actually properly simulate gravity. As you can see there, that's one of the latest updates. There's you've got some really cool things where you can throw props around. In the Mark III command pod, you actually have these like little spray, like a Wally thing, like fire extinguish. That's the one, and you can run. Oh yeah, and all quickly here you can change the computers and things in it, and they all work live. But anyways, like I was saying, there's IVA. There's this really cool IVA. Oh, what was I saying? Oh yeah, that's right. We've got fire extinguishers that actually work because you can use the props, and then there's even one with a torch which actually lights up the cabin, which is really cool. So which I really like. Anyway, now you can see this is part that I'll have to quick load in a minute because, as you can probably tell, I'm pointing south, and it took me a little while to figure that out. So just excuse me as I try and figure everything out here, because I was a bit worried that I was pointing the wrong direction. Still can't believe I didn't actually look at the navball and use it the way it was supposed to go. There you go. So now we're back to launch again. So use the RCS to shove us up, and then use the nuclear regions to lift us up. So at this point I was noticed the north thing finally, but I pointed the wrong direction again. Anyway, now you can see we've turned on the epic track song, so now you know that we're actually on our way back to Kerbin. Finally. So I'm actually on a new quick save because the previous mission that I did with the SSTO, actually, it's a bit embarrassing to say this, but I couldn't get it back to Kerbin. So I actually left Jebediah, Bill, Bob, and Valentina all stuck on the mug in the SSTO. So I started a new quick save when we actually do have the Kerbals. You can see that they're frantically looking over all the computers. Oh dude, that looks so silly. Anyway, so now using BetterBurnTime warp is another really awesome mod, which allows you to speed up time so much more freer. And I can't believe that they didn't actually make this. Just so annoying in Kerbal Space Program when you don't have it installed. At least it's one of my main go-to mods because it's the only one that really can't be replaced, in my opinion, that I actually can't live without. It is just amazing, just an absolutely amazing mod, because if you without it, you're limited to so much time warp around Kerbin, and it takes you ages in real life. In real life, it takes you ages just to go for an orbit around it if it's lower. It's just so annoying. Anyway, BetterBurnTime warp's really easy to install manually, or you can just install it on CCAN, so I don't think you really even need a tutorial for it, but I mean, you may do. I guess you probably would, but it's fairly easy to install, and an amazing mod. If you don't have it, even if you're not a modder, You really should get this. It's just, you can't live without it mod. It's a really, really good mod. Anyway, I should probably stop rambling about that, and start bringing in our periapsis down into Kerbin's atmosphere. So there we go. So I'm going to do part of the aero braking, and then I'm also going to use a bit of the fuel to decelerate, since we've got a fair bit left. But as you'll see soon, here we go. Looks like our flag decided to go on a bit of a roam again. So I was trying to set focus around the mum, but I couldn't do that, so I just decided to use tab. And we'll reconnect back to our SSTO, as that flag is flying out of the Sol system, never to be seen again. Anyway, now I can't remember what I was talking about. That's right, yes, we're going to be, as you can see, I was just trying to see how much fuel we had, and I thought, oh, well, we got plenty of fuel. But as you'll see soon, we do encounter a bit of a problem, which actually has to which actually makes us have to do a little bit of a landing on water. A little bit unrealistic, but luckily, at least after the second quick load, I've spoiled it, we will, and now my brain's just frozen. Yeah, okay, now I can't remember what I was saying. Anyway, we are going to have to land in the water, and all the parts will survive, surprisingly. I'm still surprised it probably only just survived. Also, you can see I had to bump up PlanetShine. I realized that I had it all the way down, so set the performance high, since I run it pretty good. I run a lot of mods, and I do it pretty good. I use also, at the start, you may have noticed that my KSC looked a bit too big to be normal, and that's because I use KSC extended. Absolutely love the mod. Unfortunately, around the KSC, I know I said KFC. No, around the KSC, it makes the frame rate drop a bit, probably because the amount of mods I have on. But anyway, as you can see, the epic music's turned off, because this is where I made a bit of a boo-boo with the with my re-entry and everything. So I decided, well, I'd probably need to start spinning around just to try and distribute a bit of the heat. Even though it doesn't really make sense, it seems to stop certain parts from overheating. And then you see here, the kerbals are probably throwing up, so I hope they had plenty of vomit bags in there. And now you can see I'm trying to flip the nose around. That's one of the desperately terrible parts of re-entering with an SSTO, is that they always flip backwards. Absolutely terrible. I can never get them to go forwards. If you happen to know in the comments how to do that, I mean how to make an SSTO come in nose first, like properly, without having to fumble around like I did. Even when I re-entered nose first, you saw what happened. It was really annoying. So if you know how to make it work, do that, please tell me. It would be an absolute lifesaver for me in future SSTO missions, because SSTOs are actually quite good in my opinion. Or better is what I should have said. But anyway, now you can see I'm finally got the nose pointing downwards, so I can recover from the stall, and oh, there we go, we flipped again. And look at that. We can't believe the rocket actually mostly managed to survive. I was actually thinking about doing that, but I decided I'll come in properly and actually recover the SSTOs. That was too much money wasted there. Even though I guess after one mission with the SSTO I wouldn't make it again. And look at that. Just tipped over again. Oh, really annoying. So anyway, we're coming in again, and I'll eventually get the nose pointing down. And also I've got some drogue chutes at the back, which is the only option I could actually get, or thought of, to actually make the front sit down. As you can see, the Kerbal is going for another spin again. Anyway, there you go, the drogue chutes are deployed, which is making a little extra drag at the bottom. Anyway, as we're coming down, very gracefully, I was still trying to get it pointing nose down, because I was worried that it wouldn't point nose down, but Anyway, when we get down a bit lower, if I actually never managed to successfully get my nose pointing downwards, you'll see soon that actually what made my nose point down was the parachute. So that's the only option I've thought of. But when I see other people going re-entry, they seem to be able to hit it so much better than me. It's just normal. They just go in. There's no spinning around out of control, giving the kerbals a panic attack. Oh no. Maybe I did get the nose pointing down right. Oh no, I didn't. There we go again. There you are. Now the drogue chutes are parachuted. The drogue chutes have been fully deployed. Now the nose is finally pointing down, and we'll a little bit unrealistically burn the rapier engines. Meanwhile, the parachutes are deployed. If this was real life, the parachutes probably would have melted. But who cares? It's a Kerbal Space program, not real life. And anyway, as we come down very funkily, I couldn't even watch that little meter there, as I didn't quite watch it at the time, but the G-force meter, just look at that when we have touchdown, or touchdown on the water at least. So here we are, and touchdown. There you go. A little bit, that was a bit high, just about at the red. Anyway, now we have had touchdown successfully on the water, and for some reason we're also drifting on the ocean. Well, I guess you always drift on the ocean, so I couldn't exactly make a quick save because you never know when a Kraken's going to attack. The Kraken will attack whenever he wants, so I decided I'd try and cut the parachutes and at least have a quick save happening. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and post a comment if something was annoying you, and I'll see you in the next video.